Imagine a world where no one can replace you, where your presence alone commands loyalty, fear, and respect. Imagine that every opportunity bends toward you, every alliance strengthens your power, and every move you make increases your indispensability. What if I told you that you could learn to be dangerously valuable, not through luck, but through calculated strategy, an art so ruthless that only the boldest survive? Stay, and I will show you how the masters of power, from princes to modern titans, have done exactly this. In the modern world, most are powerless, easily replaced, and forgotten. People work hard yet remain invisible, while others rise effortlessly, commanding influence, respect, and fear. The problem is simple: most fail to become indispensable. They offer mediocrity, blend into the crowd, and allow the powerful to dictate their fate. Today, we dissect a dangerous art, the art of making yourself so valuable that the world cannot ignore you, cannot control you, and must reckon with your presence. Power and influence are illusions to those who can be replaced. The world rewards those who bring something unique to the table, something others cannot imitate, cannot replicate, and cannot live without. Most people labor tirelessly, believing that effort alone will grant them respect or authority. They work harder, yet their efforts vanish into the background because they are replaceable cogs in an indifferent machine. A man who can be substituted is a man with no leverage, a man whose absence will be unnoticed and whose presence will soon be forgotten. But the one who possesses a skill, a talent, or knowledge that cannot be found elsewhere, this person becomes untouchable. They are the rare few, the dangerous few, whose very existence commands attention, respect, and fear. Consider the world of rulers and the court. A mediocre soldier may fight valiantly, but if another can take his place, he is expendable. A cunning advisor, however, whose knowledge of alliances, strategies, and hidden weaknesses of enemies cannot be matched, becomes indispensable. Princes depend on such men not merely for success but for survival. Their skill grants them power greater than armies, greater than wealth, for they are the architects of influence itself. The moment you cultivate a skill that cannot be ignored, you step out of the shadows of mediocrity and into a realm where you dictate terms, where others must account for your presence. But what does it mean to cultivate such a skill? It is not enough to excel in something ordinary. Mastery of common trades or skills is visible to all but impressive to none. The truly dangerous individual finds a path where others cannot tread, a domain where imitation is futile. It may be a craft, a form of intelligence, a network of knowledge, or even the ability to manipulate perception itself. The skill must be unique, not merely superior. For superiority can be challenged, uniqueness cannot. The moment your ability becomes essential, your leverage multiplies exponentially. You are no longer negotiating from weakness, you dictate terms from necessity. And yet, uniqueness is not simply inherited, it is cultivated. A dangerous individual studies relentlessly, not only perfecting a craft but anticipating how that craft will intersect with power, influence, and survival. One must understand the desires and weaknesses of those who wield authority and craft a skill that fills a void they cannot ignore. This requires foresight, patience, and the ruthless commitment to self-investment. While others waste their energies in idle ambition or superficial social climbing, the truly dangerous are honing abilities that will make them untouchable. They do not seek popularity, nor do they court temporary favors. Their goal is permanence, irreplaceability, and the quiet accumulation of power through the mastery of something singular. History provides endless examples. Consider the advisors and generals who shaped the destinies of kings, those whose insight into warfare, diplomacy, or strategy could not be replaced. Their skill was not merely technical but transformative. They changed outcomes simply through their presence. Or look at the innovators whose vision created industries that others could only follow. Their work became essential, and the world adapted to them, not they to the world. The lesson is clear. If you want to be dangerously valuable, you must not only excel but redefine the terms of excellence itself. Yet mastery is insufficient without visibility to the right people. You may be the most skilled artisan, the most cunning strategist, or the most brilliant thinker, but if your talents are hidden from those who control the levers of power, your danger is neutralized. Machiavelli understood that perception is inseparable from power. You must cultivate skill, but you must also ensure it is recognized by those whose favor or fear can elevate you to indispensability. Let your skill be known, but let it appear effortless, natural, and irreplaceable. The combination of rarity and visibility transforms competence into leverage, and leverage into power. Dangerous value is not static. The world changes, and the skill that once rendered you untouchable can become commonplace if neglected. Therefore, the cultivation of uniqueness requires relentless attention. A dangerously valuable individual evolves continually, sharpening existing skills, discovering new domains, and ensuring that they remain at the apex of necessity. Stagnation is the enemy. To maintain danger and value, one must anticipate trends, foresee shifts in alliances, and prepare skills that meet challenges before others recognize them. In this way, you do not merely survive, you dominate, quietly but undeniably, the spheres where others struggle to assert influence. And understand this, being unreplaceable grants more than security, it grants freedom. When others cannot exist without you, you are no longer bound by their whims or constraints. You negotiate from power, not desperation. You dictate your terms, choose your alliances, and step boldly where others fear to tread. The truly dangerous are those who do not need permission because their presence is a prerequisite. This is the ultimate leverage in the art of influence, the leverage that allows a person to shape outcomes not through force alone, but through the irreplaceable authority of necessity. The cultivation of a unique, unreplaceable skill is the cornerstone of becoming dangerously valuable. It is the foundation upon which all power, influence, and survival are built. Without it, you are expendable, invisible, and vulnerable. With it, you command attention, loyalty, and fear. You move through the world not as one among many, but as one whose absence would be catastrophic, whose presence must be accounted for. The path is not easy. It requires ruthless self-discipline, foresight, and the willingness to distance oneself from mediocrity. Yet the reward is nothing less than the power to shape your fate and the fates of those who depend on you. Power, in its essence, is not merely what you possess, it is what others believe you possess. A man may be skilled, cunning, and capable, yet if the world does not recognize these qualities, he remains powerless. To be dangerously valuable, you must not only cultivate strength and skill, but ensure that these qualities are perceived in the minds of those around you. Machiavelli teaches that appearances can be as decisive as reality. To be feared, respected, or indispensable, you must master the subtle art of perception. For in the court of human affairs, perception shapes reality, and those who control perception wield control over fate itself. The first principle is that power must be visible yet enigmatic. Display too much, and others may seek to challenge or neutralize you. Display too little, and your value remains hidden, leaving you at the mercy of those who underestimate you. The dangerously valuable individual walks the tightrope between visibility and mystery, revealing enough to command attention, but withholding enough to remain untouchable. Every action, every word, every gesture must be deliberate, calibrated to reinforce the image of indispensability. Perception is an instrument of influence. It is not accidental, nor is it mere charm. It is a weapon, forged carefully and wielded strategically. Consider the dynamics of influence in courts, in corporations, or in modern society. Those who rise to power are rarely the strongest physically or the most virtuous morally. They are those who create an image of competence, authority, and necessity that others cannot ignore. Fear, admiration, and respect are not spontaneous. They are cultivated through careful management of perception. If you are perceived as capable of solving problems that others cannot, as someone whose absence would leave chaos, you are no longer one among many. You are a fulcrum upon which outcomes pivot. Mastering perception requires understanding the psychology of those around you. People are drawn to what they cannot easily comprehend, what seems beyond ordinary reach. If your skills are obvious and mundane, they evoke neither respect nor fear. But if your abilities appear exceptional, almost otherworldly, you command attention. Let others witness competence, but never the entire mechanism behind it. Let them see results without understanding the method. This creates an aura of power, a reputation that magnifies influence beyond the limits of actual skill. Those who master perception manipulate not only reality, but the beliefs of others, shaping behavior without overt confrontation. Perception also requires control of narrative. In every interaction, there is a story told about you, whether by yourself or by others. The dangerously valuable individual ensures that the story told aligns with power, necessity, and indispensability. Reputation is not granted, it is claimed and maintained through deliberate action. The wise cultivate allies who reinforce their perceived value, while subtly undermining narratives that threaten to diminish it. Gossip, envy, and rumor are tools that, if understood, can amplify influence or neutralize opposition. To be dangerously valuable is to orchestrate perception as meticulously as a general plans a campaign, knowing that victory in the minds of others often precedes victory in reality. Yet the most dangerous mastery of perception is the illusion of untouchability. People respect what they fear, and they fear what they perceive as beyond their control. Display confidence and certainty, even when uncertainty looms. Conceal vulnerability, even in moments of crisis. The world rewards those who project the image of stability, control, and inevitability. The moment others doubt your competence or question your indispensability, your leverage diminishes. Conversely, if you cultivate an aura of unshakable power, your influence extends beyond skill alone. It becomes a force of inevitability, a presence that must be accounted for in every decision. Machiavelli observed that appearances often shape the course of events more decisively than truth. A prince who appears strong deters rebellion. A minister who appears omniscient secures loyalty. The dangerously valuable individual internalizes this lesson. You may possess extraordinary talents, but without the cultivation of perception, those talents remain latent, powerless to secure influence or survival. Influence grows in proportion to the belief in your value. The more others perceive your indispensability, the more real your power becomes. The paradox is striking. Perception alone, if carefully crafted, can create realities as enduring as any physical skill or tangible asset. To master perception, one must also master timing and restraint. A display of brilliance too early may provoke envy or resistance. Brilliance revealed too late may be wasted on those who cannot recognize its value. The dangerously valuable individual acts with precision, revealing skill and insight strategically, ensuring that each revelation strengthens the perception of necessity and competence. Every conversation, every action, every decision becomes a performance designed to reinforce your indispensable image. This is not deception for its own sake, but the deliberate management of perception to align the beliefs of others with your strategic goals. Finally, the mastery of perception requires adaptability. Human attention is fickle, and circumstances constantly shift. What commands respect today may become ordinary tomorrow. The dangerously valuable individual monitors these changes, adjusting appearances, behaviors, and narrative to maintain influence. Flexibility in perception ensures that others continue to see you as essential, rare, and untouchable, even as the world evolves. In this way, perception becomes not merely a tool, but a living, dynamic instrument of power, constantly shaping the environment to reflect your indispensability. The world rewards the bold, the decisive, and the ruthless. To be dangerously valuable is to act with precision when opportunity presents itself, to recognize openings that others ignore or hesitate before, and to strike with unrelenting focus. Most people live in fear of risk, paralyzed by hesitation or morality. waiting for the perfect moment that never arrives. They watch as fortune favors the daring, as those willing to seize the moment ascend, while the cautious remain stagnant. Machiavelli understood this with unflinching clarity. Fortune is a force that rewards those who act boldly, those who bend circumstances to their will, and those who exploit opportunities before others even recognize them. To become dangerously valuable, one must develop the ability to see openings others cannot, and then act without hesitation. Ruthless exploitation of opportunity begins with perception, the ability to recognize the hidden potential in every situation. While others see obstacles, the dangerous individual sees leverage. A crisis is not a threat, it is a chance to demonstrate skill, to prove indispensability, to acquire influence that will endure long after the moment has passed. A sudden shift in power, a mistake by a rival, or an unexpected weakness in the system becomes a ladder, and the dangerously valuable know precisely how to climb. Hesitation in these moments is fatal. Inaction allows others to seize what could have been yours, leaving you marginalized, irrelevant, and replaceable. The difference between survival and dominance is often measured in split-second decisions executed with unwavering resolve. Machiavelli instructs that morality is a luxury rarely afforded to those who seek true power. The world is neither just nor fair, and waiting for ethical perfection is a path to mediocrity. To exploit opportunities ruthlessly requires a clarity of purpose that transcends conventional notions of right and wrong. Every calculated move must advance your position, increase your indispensability, or weaken potential threats. Some will call it cunning, others ruthless. In truth, it is a discipline of strategy, the understanding that fortune smiles on the audacious and ignores the timid. Those who hesitate are swept aside, replaced by those who act decisively. Yet ruthlessness is not recklessness. The dangerously valuable do not act blindly, they calculate, anticipate, and prepare. Every action is deliberate, designed to extract maximum advantage with minimal risk. Timing is critical, for an opportunity exploited too early can fail, and one seized too late becomes irrelevant. Success favors the patient aggressor, someone who waits, watches, and then strikes with precision when the moment aligns with strategy. There is art in ruthlessness. It is not the brute force of impulse, but the careful orchestration of action to achieve maximum leverage, influence, and power. Opportunities are often hidden in plain sight, overlooked by those distracted by trivialities or blinded by fear. A dangerously valuable individual maintains vigilance, reading between the lines of events, interpreting shifts in alliances, economic trends, and human behavior. They perceive weaknesses in rivals, openings in systems, and gaps in networks that others dismiss. While others are constrained by indecision or adherence to convention, the ruthless recognize that every moment carries potential. What others see as chaos, they see as a stage upon which to assert their influence, to create necessity, and to elevate their indispensability. Alliances and relationships are tools to exploit opportunities effectively. The dangerously valuable understand that influence is rarely achieved alone. They cultivate networks, not for loyalty alone, but to leverage positions, information, and access. Every interaction is a potential opportunity, and every ally a lever to move power in their favor. But Machiavelli warns, trust must always be conditional, and dependence should always be subtle. The moment others feel you are beholden to them, your leverage diminishes. Exploitation of opportunity is not just about seizing the visible, it is about positioning yourself so that your value becomes central, so that others cannot act without considering your influence and interests. The execution of opportunity also demands audacity. Bold moves capture attention, command respect, and force competitors to acknowledge your indispensability. Subtlety has its place, but the dangerously valuable understand that fortune often rewards visibility when calculated risks are taken. A decisive action can redefine perceptions, establish dominance, and create leverage that endures long after the moment of execution. Audacity, backed by skill and preparation, transforms fleeting chances into permanent advantage. Hesitation, conversely, ensures that potential remains unrealized, leaving the timid irrelevant while the bold ascend. Finally, ruthless exploitation of opportunity is a mindset, a discipline, and a lifestyle. It requires constant awareness, readiness to act, and the willingness to embrace discomfort, risk, and conflict when the moment demands it. Those who cultivate this skill do not wait for fortune to favor them. They force it into alignment with their will. They transform challenges into advantages, crises into leverage, and unpredictability into control. The dangerously valuable are those who understand that opportunity is fleeting, that hesitation is fatal, and that only the decisive, the prepared, and the audacious rise above mediocrity to shape their world according to their design. To be dangerously valuable is not only to possess skills, perceive power, and seize opportunities, it is also to control networks, to make others dependent on your presence, and to leverage those relationships to create influence that is near impossible to challenge. Machiavelli understood that power rarely exists in isolation. Even the most gifted individual cannot dominate the world alone. The world is a web of alliances, dependencies, and obligations. The masterful player navigates this web with precision, binding allies and dependents in ways that strengthen their indispensability while subtly consolidating influence. True danger lies in creating a network of reliance, where your absence would cause disruption and your presence is a prerequisite for success. The first principle of binding allies strategically is to understand that loyalty is rarely given. It is cultivated and maintained through careful orchestration. People align themselves with those who offer opportunity, protection, or advancement. The dangerously valuable recognize this and position themselves as the source of such benefits. They provide allies with what they need to thrive, while ensuring that those same allies cannot succeed without continued access to them. This creates a network of reciprocal dependence where power is amplified and maintained. But Machiavelli warns that dependence must be subtle. A visible hand guiding others too overtly may provoke resentment or rebellion. The art is in making others feel autonomous, while quietly controlling the threads that secure their reliance. Dependents are not merely followers, they are extensions of influence. Every person whose success, reputation, or resources are tied to you becomes a lever, a force multiplier of your own power. The dangerously valuable cultivate these relationships meticulously. They identify those whose ambitions intersect with their own and ensure that those ambitions cannot be fulfilled without alignment with them. This is not manipulation for cruelty's sake, but for strategic dominance. By binding dependence, one creates a network in which influence radiates outward, reinforcing the individual's indispensability in every decision, every alliance, and every contest of power. Strategic binding also requires discretion and calculation. Trust must always be conditional, and influence must remain subtle. The moment dependence becomes obvious, loyalty may turn to resentment, and allies may conspire to sever the ties that limit their freedom. Machiavelli teaches that the greatest power comes from control that is invisible, from guidance that appears voluntary, and from alliances that appear mutually beneficial. The dangerously valuable never force dependence through intimidation alone. They create circumstances in which others naturally align with them, because doing so is their only path to success, prestige, or survival. The orchestration of these relationships requires foresight and intelligence. One must understand the ambitions, fears, and weaknesses of those around them. Allies and dependents can be motivated in multiple ways, through opportunity, protection, recognition, or fear. But the key is to balance these motivators carefully. Too much fear can provoke rebellion, too much generosity can diminish leverage, and too little attention can weaken the bond of dependence. The dangerously valuable calibrate each interaction, ensuring that relationships are both strong and flexible. robust enough to withstand challenges, yet pliable enough to adapt as circumstances evolve. Binding allies strategically also extends to understanding networks of networks. A dangerously valuable individual recognizes that influence multiplies exponentially when allies themselves hold influence over others. By connecting with key players and securing their dependence, one indirectly gains control over a broader sphere of influence. It is not enough to bind individuals, one must map the architecture of power, identify critical nodes, and ensure that one's presence is central to the functioning of the entire system. In this way, influence becomes systemic, and indispensability becomes structural rather than circumstantial. The subtly dangerous also leverage perception in relationships. Allies and dependents must believe that alignment with you is a choice, not an obligation. Machiavelli teaches that power is best exercised when it appears natural and inevitable. By crafting circumstances in which dependence appears voluntary, the dangerously valuable maintain authority while avoiding overt resistance. This perception of freedom ensures loyalty that is durable, relationships that are resilient, and influence that is nearly unassailable. The hand that guides must remain unseen, even as it shapes outcomes, allocates resources, and positions the individual at the center of every consequential decision. Finally, binding allies strategically is a continuous process. Circumstances change, ambitions shift, and power is never static. The dangerously valuable monitor these dynamics relentlessly, adjusting relationships, redistributing opportunities, and reinforcing dependence where it may weaken. Those who fail to maintain their network find themselves isolated, vulnerable, and replaceable. The art of strategic binding is therefore not a single action, but a lifelong discipline, one that demands attention, patience, and a ruthless understanding of human motivation. By weaving networks of reliance, the dangerously valuable secure not only influence but survival, ensuring that their indispensability endures in a world where fortune is unpredictable, alliances are fragile, and power is always contested. To be dangerously valuable is to transcend mediocrity, to step beyond the realm of the replaceable, and to command influence that others cannot challenge. It is not merely skill, nor perception, nor opportunity, nor alliances alone, but the ruthless combination of all four. Cultivate a unique, unreplaceable skill that makes your presence essential, a talent so rare that the world cannot function without it. Master the perception of power, ensuring that your indispensability is recognized, your authority feared, and your competence admired. Exploit every opportunity with calculated audacity, turning crises into leverage, hesitation into irrelevance, and risk into reward. And finally, bind allies and dependents strategically, weaving a network of reliance that cements your influence and ensures that the world must reckon with your presence. The path is not for the timid. It requires discipline, foresight, and the willingness to embrace ruthlessness where necessary. The world does not reward the average, the cautious, or the replaceable. It elevates those who are feared and respected, those whose absence would be catastrophic, those who move decisively while others falter. To become dangerously valuable is to seize control of your own fate, to shape the actions of others, and to rise above the ordinary constraints of human ambition. In this relentless pursuit, one learns that power is not given, it is claimed. Influence is not accidental. It is forged through mastery, perception, opportunity, and leverage. Those who understand this art do not wait for fortune to favor them. They compel it, bend it to their will, and become architects of their destiny. The dangerously valuable do not merely survive in the world, they command it, not through brute force alone, but through skill, strategy, and the unyielding art of indispensability.